Where to live in Sparks, Nevada. For those of you that may have never even heard of Sparks, Nevada, if I drove you around and didn't tell you when you were in Reno or when you were in Sparks, most people would never know the difference. So if we show you a map like we always do, and we're talking about Sparks, Nevada, Sparks is mostly the northeast corner of what's known as Washoe County. We've talked about this. It's the same school district. It's a lot of similarities between the two neighborhoods, but there are some slight differences in Sparks. The population of Sparks versus our whole Washoe County area is about 25 to 35% compared to what Reno is. So when I think of all of Washoe County, there's about almost 500,000 people now. And that Sparks area that even pushes out a little more towards Spanish Springs, goes out a little further, is roughly 100 to 125,000 people. And really, there's three major ways to get there. It's either off Pyramid Highway, Sparks Boulevard, or Vista Boulevard, and they all kind of head out towards the north. And as you go there, that used to be roads that they just went north and south. You couldn't go across on them anymore. And now areas like, for example, if you turn left off onto Pyramid Highway, what used to be a 2-lane road and 1 turn lane, that is now one of the biggest intersections in all of northern Nevada, and they're now widening even more. And as you come up over the hill, it used to be just a bunch of open desert land. There was a beat up old barn there, and now it is massive shopping structure. So if you're looking for the Costco's or Home Depots of the world, all of that stuff is right over the hill as you come in on Pyramid Highway, and they're expanding that where it's literally going to be 3 and 4 lanes on either side, at least for a little while. You can actually now go east and west off Pyramid, Sparks, and Vista. So there's a lot more easy ways to get around in Sparks. Sparks is an area that is a little more affordable price-wise than it is in the Reno area. And the reason why people were living there or moving to that area, and a lot of people bought investment properties and rentals in that area, was if you were working off a USA Parkway, so where Tesla is, and that big industrial center where a lot of people go to work, from there, it's only about a 17-mile drive on the freeway on 80 out to USA Parkway to get to a lot of different jobs. And so a lot of people bought homes out in that area that made the prices come up a little more similar to what you see in Reno. So if you're out on Pyramid Highway, what used to seem like it is way out there is Spanish Springs. And if you're on there on the west side, there's Spanish Springs High School. And everything in there are tract homes. And those are really big lots. You can get a 1/4 acre to a 1/3 acre. The reason people moved out there is you have a lot of RV access, 3 and 4 car garages, and the homes aren't quite all over each other, but they're not quite as upgraded as you might see in some other neighborhoods. So it's really kind of a family style neighborhood where if you need a lot of bedrooms, bathrooms, some elbow room, some space, that is where people were going to go. And just on the east side of Pyramid Highway is Wingfield Springs. And those are areas where if you're out at the golf course out there, so there's Red Hawk and there's a couple of golf courses out there, those areas are a little more upgraded. They're a little more stucco, tile roof. The features of homes, you can find stuff that's over $1 million. We're over by Spanish Springs High School. Most stuff is going to be between, let's say, 500, 800,000, depending on the size. But out in Wingfield Springs, you're going to definitely see some pockets and some neighborhoods. And there are some homes that are right on the golf course that you're definitely going to have a higher price point than you would see in other parts of Spanish Springs. But from those areas, the further out you are, you're probably anywhere from a 20, 25, 30-minute drive back to, say, downtown or where the airport is. These neighborhoods, Wingfield and Spanish Springs, are much more of your planned development, HOA-type neighborhoods. If you're someone who's thinking about moving to northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. We'll get you a copy of our free buyer's guide that'll get you a bunch of the information you need to get your journey started. Let's just go right into downtown Sparks. That downtown area has been newly upgraded. There's lots of new apartments and condos and townhomes, but the houses that are really close to downtown Sparks, you literally could find stuff that's maybe 100 years old. And if you're in that interior area and you're near Sparks High School, you now see a lot of multifamily buildings being built there as they're knocking down some of these other projects. You might see apartment complexes, but those can be anywhere literally 50 to 100 years old, depending on what you're looking for. And so it's a lot of 3 or 2 bedroom homes, 1 bath, maybe 1.5 bath, and some will have the 1 car garage. Some of those will be converted. And that is that older part of downtown. And as you move just more towards McCarran and you're in that sort of older neighborhood, this is where you get more on the original tract home neighbors that were built out in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that are kind of what the heart of Sparks used to be. There's now some stuff going on by the Sparks Marina. And there's not a lot of housing by that. Like, you're not buying a lot of single family homes by there, but they did put in a shopping center. There's stuff all along that man-made lake that they put in there. And then there's also a lot of apartment buildings and shopping and restaurants right there. So if you push a little further out and you go off of Vista and Sparks Boulevards, you're going to have neighborhoods like Deandrea. Deandrea, when it was first built, had an 18-hole golf course. The golf course completely went away, which of course affected prices in there. And as of now, they have 9 holes back. The rumor is they might actually put the other 9 holes in. There's no confirmation of that. But Deandrea is kind of this little self-contained area. Has some really nice properties. Down in the front, you're going to find some multifamily or small lot properties. And as you work your way back up, there's going to be some homes up on the hill. There's some really nice views. It's going to be a little more high-end like what you might see out in Wingfield Springs. So as you just get north of Deandrea and you're on Vista Boulevard, you have Los Altos Parkway that runs in a big loop. It starts on Vista, loops to a neighborhood, and ends back on Vista. And in those neighborhoods, the original homes now are probably pushing 35. Some of them might even be close to 40 years old. But there are some pockets of brand new homes that have been built in there over the last 10 or 15 years. So you're going to see all different kind of age groups. There are a lot of homes in there that were rentals because, again, they were buying those as people that were working out off of USA Parkway. It's become much more accessible to the freeway. It's not as far to get back to. And because there's now all that shopping that's right off of Pyramid Highway, it has made those neighborhoods so you can stay out there and not always have to come back in town and get to the freeway or go all the way back into downtown near the airport where the old Costco and all those other things are. You can do all that stuff out in Sparks now. For people that are kind of looking in that 500,000 to 900,000, there's a lot of good homes in Sparks and a lot of good areas. And the nice part is if you work in Sparks, you can live in Sparks and you don't have to necessarily come back into town like you used to. So let's talk about some of the major amenities and things that you're going to see in Sparks. And what's nice now is Sparks did not used to have all this when I first moved to Northern Nevada, and now it does. Off Pyramid Highway, that first section right there, Costco, Home Depot, you name it, whatever major things that you're looking for, it's right there off of Pyramid Highway. Out in the Wingfield Springs area, there are some gorgeous turf, soccer fields, baseball fields. There's a huge sports complex. Sparks used to always have to come into Reno, and now the amenities out there, whether it's the Legends Mall, which is right off of Sparks Boulevard. There's Shields, there's the movie theaters. That mall has continually grown. I know between that mall and the South Reno Mall that are outdoor malls, people are concerned because it gets cold here, maybe it's some weather, that these were not going to do well. That mall is always packed. There's always tons of people there. There's a Lowe's in that shopping center as well. There's tons of food and shopping all right there, right across from the water park that is only obviously open in the summer months. But there's a huge water park. Reno doesn't have that, so you have to go to Sparks for those kind of things. The closer you typically are to 80, the more commercial and industrial and those kind of things are. And then depending how far up you want to go off Pyramid Highway, Sparks Boulevard or Vista, is residential. And again, it goes way further than you ever think. There's lots of new home construction options out there. For people that are looking for a little more elbow room, I will say it seems to me it's a little easier to find a larger lot with maybe a 3 or 4 car garage and some RV access in Sparks than many of the areas in Reno. So again, if you have questions, let us know. We'll get you more information about the amenities and all things Sparks. If you're thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor, check out this video we did right here about all the best neighborhoods in Reno.